Hi, this is Constance from Mrs. T Weddings, and we are continuing our lockdown lives this evening with the utterly fabulous Nat, who is a humanist wedding celebrant. So, a wedding celebrant is something that lots of people have probably heard of and not too sure what it is. So, Nat is going to give us the lowdown on exactly what being a celebrant means, how it works, what you need to be thinking about if you're going to book one, and she is the person to tell you all about it. She has got so much knowledge and experience, it's fantastic, and she will give us her little nuggets of what really makes her special. So let me bring Nat on. She has just joined now, and here we go. With us any second now, hopefully, if technology allows. There we go, it's just connecting. Hello! There
Hello,
she
good
is.
evening.
How are
How are
you?
you? Oh, you first. How are you?
I'm good. Yes, I am good. I had a bit of a traumatic week, and now I'm like back. My dog passed away, so it was all very horrible
Oh
and
no.
miserable. And now it's like, right, okay. He's in a better place, so we're okay.
Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry.
It's been one of those weeks. But lockdown seems to just this is the worst lockdown yet, right?
Yeah, I love that we can say a sentence that says this is the worst lockdown yet. Great.
Life is weird.
Yeah, I'm
How
an
about you?
emotional wreck, to be
Are you?
honest with you. So I'm
Yeah,
hoping that I can say full sentences to you because the inauguration
I
today,
know.
I have just been streaming with tears. And I think, it's a lockdown thing that we're
Yeah,
all very kind of highly strung. And
yeah,
something that would ordinarily be beautiful is
yeah,
now amazingly,
yeah,
crazily, heartbreakingly beautiful.
yeah,
And Amanda Gorman, oh my gosh. And
yeah.
Lady Gaga, I just love her. And honestly, the dresses and the outfits, yes, I am shallow, but all of it together. And I was just weeping, weeping. So
So
if I
good, isn't
weep
it?
again, yeah, if I
Yeah.
weep again, I apologize.
Well,
But
do because those are celebratory tears. So we love them. Those are the good tears.
this is this is true. At least this was a good thing. And
Yeah.
I just kind of want it for us,
I
not to get
know.
too political too quickly,
Yeah.
but we've got a lot of years to go before we get rid of our trauma. Anyway,
Yeah, I know. It's a very different. It's a difficult one. We can't do a lot about it here, but it's so good to see,
yeah.
the leader of the Western world, in
Oh,
safer hands, and to see that
yeah.
box handed over for him no
Oh my
longer to
God.
have the power to press the button
I
alone
mean,
is a huge achievement in life.
I like to think that it was just like a Playmobil button anyway, and he didn't
They
really
can't have
have
given
to.
him the real toy the past few weeks, can they?
No, because terrifying.
Yes, darling, that's the right one. You you just do what you want with your nuclear weapons, darling.
Yeah, it's just an Amazon Prime button that orders more toilet roll. That's what it is.
No, it is. It's been a really good day, and I think if you haven't, if you've been working throughout the day, do listen to the speeches. They were
Oh
just,
my goodness.
my goodness, Joe Biden was just incredible what he was saying, and I
Yeah,
think we should all be like 100%, whether we're connected to America or not. We all need to
yeah,
be doing these things, and we need to be reuniting, and really building that strength of working together rather than against each other. So
yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Clarity of purpose.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And I just, we've really been stretched this
yeah,
last year, and we're continuing to be stretched.
yeah.
And we've just got to dig deep, haven't we? Because we've got no choice.
No,
And
exactly. Exactly.
there we go.
Yeah, I
Put your
agree.
lippy on. I've even put perfume on. And I know you can't smell
Whoa.
me, but these things, they matter, don't
They
you?
do.
I
I'm
was thinking,
honored.
I'm
I
meeting
mean,
you.
I
It's
feel
it's my
slightly
favorite
ridiculous
one.
that I haven't and that I've got them on.
Well, I won't show you anything below here, honestly. You don't want to see. But yeah,
No.
I got the perfume on. I smell exquisite.
Oh, I'm so pleased. Yay. Good, good. Excellent. I've got the fresh flowers, put makeup on, did my hair, made a bit of an effort for you. Yeah. So there we go. Good. We all need to do these things. So let's get talking about you.
Yes,
So
let's. dive deep.
Tell me, because there's so many people out there that hear the word celebrant and
Yeah.
go, but, and I meet couples the whole time, they're like, I'm like, you gonna have a celebrant? Like, what is a celebrant? Tell
This is
us.
the question. What is a celebrant?
Yeah.
And I do answer it a lot, but it bears repeating. No, it's so important because it's quite a kind of woolly word,
Yeah.
actually. And what it means is it contains the world, not to be too grandiose in the first 5 minutes. But essentially, there are three ways to get married.
Yeah.
You can have a civil ceremony
Yeah.
where the law is centered.
Yeah.
It's all about reference to the law. It's reference to your lawly connection, your law bond.
Yeah.
Everything is in the eyes of the law.
Yeah.
And then the second way to get married is a faith-based marriage.
Yeah.
And in that kind of marriage, it's the eyes of God.
Yeah.
So it's your relationship to God. It's your relationship, plural, as a couple to a God or gods.
Yeah.
And that is what is fundamental.
Yeah.
And so the third way to get married is a celebrant-led ceremony, and that centers the couple. That centers the two of you. And it means that the importance of your story and the importance of your love and commitment and your declaration of that love and commitment in front of usually all the people you love most in the whole world, all in one room together, which does that ever happen again? No.
So this is your one and only. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. And because of that, it matters. As we've seen today in the inauguration, honestly, I could cry again. Words matter.
They do.
Words matter, guys. You heard Joe Biden speak and you knew he meant it.
Yeah.
He's a sincere guy.
Yeah.
You hear Amanda Gorman saying that beautiful poetry, that exquisite phrasing, the phraseology. It made us all calm. It made us all breathe out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm Joe Biden or Amanda Gorman. I'm not.
You're in the making. One day.
Thank you. But what's so important to take from that is, on your wedding day, on one of the most important days of your life, you've got to mean what you hear and mean what you say.
Exactly.
It's got to really resonate with your heart.
Yeah.
And if in particular you're not religious, then it doesn't mean that you just want a civil ceremony where the law is invoked and that's it. Maybe a little reading, maybe a bit of music, but it takes maybe 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And actually, I remember the first humanist ceremony I ever went to was my own. So, I've been on the other side of the sofa from when I meet my couples.
Yeah.
And, I got in touch with the celebrant by saying, my fiance and I, my husband and I, my fiance and I, we consider ourselves romantic atheists.
Oh, cute.
And,
love that.
That's kind
so
of what
cute.
a humanist is,
Yeah.
Atheist, the word kind of implies a kind of lack of something.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm such a Pollyanna,
Yeah.
I believe in you. I believe in everything. I'm crying at the flipping tip of a hat. I think humans are amazing. And I know we're being tested now in 2020 and 2021. But essentially, humans are brilliant.
Yeah.
And love is brilliant. And commitment is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And just because you don't have a faith to pin that love and that sentimentality and that ritual on, doesn't mean you don't want that ritual and that love and that sentimentality. It's delicious.
Yeah,
so
you want to put in
thing.
as much, everybody wants their wedding to be as personal as possible. Nobody wants a carbon copy. And,
Exactly.
I mean, I'll be honest, this was before I really knew about celebrants, but I had a registrar, ceremony, and it was so depressing ticking the boxes. You can say this line, I'll say this line, and you're like, this isn't me.
Yeah.
Like, none of this is me. I don't tick boxes. That's not who I
Yeah.
am. I'm
Yeah.
creative. I'm interesting. Like, there's more to me than a box ticking exercise. And I think,
Exactly.
you know, everyone wants to feel that on their day, you know, whether it be those bespoke little touches that people put into their veil, or into
Yeah.
the way that, you know, they have their flowers, they have a sentimental flower in there or something. You know, all
Yeah.
these things are really important. Then why do we, the most important bit of the
The
day,
most important
you know,
thing.
the only reason that day is happening is for the ceremony. That is the
Yes.
only reason we're spending all this money and having all these people here and doing all this big extravagance, is for
Yeah.
this minute, tiny part of the day. Why not
I
make it actually into a celebration, and into something which is a celebration of you as a couple?
Yes. And you know, you want it to be the most memorable bit of the
Yeah,
day.
exactly.
Everyone spends so long on choosing cakes,
Yeah,
tasting cakes.
yeah,
I don't know, everything, every
yeah.
little thing. You know, you
Makeup
can get yourself
trials,
in
hair
a
trial, you know,
tizzy
all these
about
things.
napkin colours, for crying
Yeah.
out loud. And listen, I'm not dissing it. I am
Yeah,
a very shallow person, as I said before, and I
good.
love all things wedding.
Yeah.
I love gorgeous
Perfect.
gowns. I love
Yeah.
bespoke everything.
Yeah.
I'm really into it. But in the panoply of things, just
Mm.
like you say, why are you there in the first place? It's not a party. Well, it
No.
is, but
Not at the
it's a
moment, it's
party.
not.
Well, yeah, I'm ignoring all that, dude.
Yeah.
I'm staying Pollyanna-ish and looking at the vaccines. But um, you know, it's a party with a purpose. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, I've never said that before. I like
It's
it.
good. That's
Party with
good.
a purpose.
Let's write it down. I'm going to write it
Yeah,
down.
that needs to be on my website.
It
It's a
does.
party with a purpose, and the purpose is
Yeah.
to declare your love for that person that you found. And it is such a wonderful thing that you can find love with somebody. You know, it's not,
Yeah.
it's like the most fortunate accident in the whole world.
It's the
You
hardest
can't
job in the
plan
world
it.
to find that.
Yeah. So you should bloody celebrate
You
it,
should.
and
Yeah.
spend as much time, if not more time, and I argue spend so much time on helping me, because it's
Yeah.
a collaboration,
Yeah.
to create this beautiful ceremony that is longer than this 12 minutes. So you
Yeah.
get more time to actually remember, but also every single word is what you want to hear.
Yeah.
So you will remember that. And that will
Yeah.
be the most memorable part of your day, or at
Yeah.
least up there with Auntie Ada being sick. So, you know,
Beautiful. What an image
I
for
can't
us.
compete with that.
Thanks for that.
I've got one of my grooms with a
Is
lovely
that
thumbs up
Luke?
there, Luke. Yeah. I
Oh,
married him in 2019, him and
oh,
lovely Nikki. So that's
oh.
really, really lovely that you know,
It still matters.
you stay friends with your couples,
Yeah.
because I mean, I'll talk about this later maybe, because otherwise I'm just batting hither and thither. But you know, the reason that you pick your celebrant, and there
Yeah.
are lots of
So let's do
celebrants
that.
over the
Talk us
UK.
through how you choose your
Yeah,
celebrant. Yeah.
yes, right. So what you would do is, I'm already assuming you want a celebrant
Yeah.
ceremony because you're a wonderful personal person and you've decided that you want to make sure it's bespoke. So the
Exactly.
first thing that you would do is you decide the kind of celebrant that you want.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a humanist celebrant. I've been trained and accredited by Humanists UK.
Yeah.
And that means that I am also a humanist. You can't be trained and accredited with them if you're not a humanist.
Okay.
That's their thing. It is a belief system,
Okay.
albeit a non-religious belief
Yeah.
system. It's complicated. But anyway, what it essentially means is you're a Pollyanna person that doesn't believe that there is life after death, and you don't believe that there is any spiritual aspect to life. It doesn't mean that you are po-faced and you sit in the corner with a black t-shirt on and you don't believe in anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what I am. So if
Yeah.
that matches you, come to me or one of my colleagues, and that's brilliant. I should also add, if you are culturally religious, like for example, if you are Jewish but you don't actually go to church and
Yeah.
synagogue, not church,
Yeah.
or anything like that, if you're not observant,
Yeah.
but you still would like to honor your culture and your heritage in your ceremony, then I can definitely do that kind of thing.
Okay.
Because that is showing cultural significance.
Yeah.
And to me, that's not leading an act of worship. That is nodding to heritage. That's nodding to history.
Yeah.
And actually, in 2019, not to go too far off topic, I led a wedding that we actually sang a hymn in. We sang Cum
Oh,
Ronda.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, because the bride's father, well, the whole family are Welsh, and the bride's father had dementia, and he sang in a male voice choir, and that hymn was one of the few things that he really connected to, and he really, tell me about it. The whole place was absolutely gone.
Beautiful.
He led everybody singing it, and it was so important to the family. So you see that kind of develcroing of cultural significance and religious belief. That's something that I can deal with, and a humanist celebrant can deal with as well.
And that's one thing that some couples may not be aware of, that if they're just going down the registrar route, you're not allowed anything religious.
Oh,
you know, you cannot have hymns, you cannot have any readings, cannot have any religious significance, whatever your religion is. And so you need, and there has to be a complete separation. So, I've got a Muslim wedding that's coming up, and we have to do one part, and then very separately we can then do the second part, and it has to be a complete division. So this is something where actually you can integrate slightly more than you would if you didn't have a celebrant.
Absolutely. And also you can have if you are a couple that's a multi-faith couple, then it means that you can represent both sides of your beliefs and your heritage for both of your families coming together as well. Exactly. So it can be a wonderful way to nod towards that.
Exactly.
But I would say as well, if you are spiritual and say if you are pagan, then there are celebrants who are also spiritual and pagan that you can go and find. And I would absolutely urge people to do that as well.
You've got to find the right person with the right beliefs for you.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And, I have wonderful colleagues who are independent celebrants who are spiritual in that way. And as I've said very clearly, I'm not spiritual, so it would be dishonest of me to do that. And the whole point of a celebrant ceremony is authenticity. Yeah. So you've got to really be in it. None of this crossed fingers in church just because it's pretty stuff.
Yeah.
No.
Nada. Yeah, that I can't deal with.
I know, right? Because I should also say I'm a singer as well. I'm an opera singer. And I have sung in many weddings in my time, in choirs. And I have literally, because I'm in the choir and I'm behind the clergyman of whatever denomination, I have seen people literally crossing their fingers. And then I'm like, dude, why are you there? I respect people having faith.
Yeah.
And it seems to me to not be right,
Yeah, you've got to be authentic on that day. You can fake it in a lot of things in life, but that's one of those times where you've got to be real.
Well, a guest is different, but a couple,
exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. So, okay, back to how you get. So you've chosen that you want a humanist celebrant. You've decided that you're the one. They go onto your website or Instagram, send you a message.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I must admit, I'm here already. Instagram is amazing, isn't it? For finding out because, it's not just celebrants who you have to have a personal connection with. Really, you want a personal connection with every supplier.
Yeah,
for your
absolutely.
wedding.
100%. So much it comes down to a personality match.
Yeah, you want to go to the pub with them when the pubs are open. And, you really want to just feel safe, and because they're in a position of trust, you're in a position of trust with them.
There's an element of mind reading at all times. Yeah,
totally. I'm just card sharping all the time, watching how the relationship works and thinking, you'd like this. Oh, I'm going to phrase it like this because you'll be like, oh, perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Constantly working, same as everybody.
Yeah.
So Instagram is great for that because, you can really get to know the kind of day-to-day celebrant, the day-to-day supplier. Yeah. My stories are always clicking on. I'm always banging on about this or that, I'm afraid.
You're so good on Instagram. I love it. You're so hot on it.
I really love it. I really love it, because I feel that what I was missing when I got married in 2012. So I was looking in late 2011 2011. I told you I'm an emotional mess.
2011.
2011 with Ivan, my husband.
Yeah.
We looked on Humanist's UK website because we knew we wanted a humanist wedding, and I would say maybe 10% of those people even had a website, much less had a social media presence
That's
at that
so
time.
true.
And you know, I'm 45, but I'm not 95.
Yeah.
This has really kind of cracked on in the last say 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Who reads bridal magazines now?
No.
I'm not sure
there's
if
none
people
other
really
than rock and
do.
roll. There really aren't any that are in production. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, you know, it's basically Pinterest and Instagram that really you have the way to contact people individually.
Yeah.
I have couples all the time that aren't necessarily, you know, not even having a celebrant ceremony, but they just ask my opinion on things, and they're just chatting to me, and I love that.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
I love weddings.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
love talking about them.
I can't fake it. Yeah, I can't fake it. I love it. It's like a double-edged passion for me, this, you know, having had the celebrant ceremony myself and having seen the effect it had on my relatives and my friends, saying this was the best wedding they've ever been to. She's so captured you two. I've never paid attention in a wedding before, and I just was glued to it, you know, and I was just like, I want to do that for other people. I want to just make that magic for other people. But also, you know, just weddings in general. I love ritual, and I love human marking of important things. I've always loved it ever since I was a little girl. I even love weird things like school uniform because it's like, you know,
it gives that structure and purpose and reasoning. I kind of get it.
Yeah, I'll
don't know whether I'd ever say I love
the
my
therapy
school uniform,
later. I did have quite a nice school uniform because it was, anyway, we won't talk about it. You can DM me later.
Park that one.
You know, things that matter. And also I see this a lot when I'm a singer as well, you know, the ritual of a concert or the ritual of an opera. And people dress up a little, even if they don't have to, and they come in and they sit down and applause, and there's a palpable vibe in a large room that we all miss, let's face it.
Massively.
It's wonderful, whether it's the cinema where watching a film with a couple of hundred people is a different beast to watching it with your mate in the living room.
Absolutely.
They're still great, but it's a different beast. And I am a big believer in that wedding vibe where we're giving out love by reading the ceremony and taking part in the ceremony, but the guests are working hard too. They're sending the love back. You can almost see it. You can almost see the heart emojis flapping back at you. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And when your couple are making their vows, you know, which has to be the center and the fulcrum of the whole ceremony, time stands still. It's so important, and it never gets old. It never gets predictable. And I really want to do weddings again.
Well, we'll get there. We will get there. There will be some this year. I'm sure of it.
I'm sure of it too. But I'm just desperate. I'm an impatient beast.
It is really missed. And I think that's one thing that people don't realize is how much the industry miss it. You know, people are talking about the money and the financials and things like that. Well, actually, no, it's the actual, you know, surrounding ourselves with love is something that we really do miss. And it, you know, it's tough to kind of keep finding that energy when you're not getting the fuel you need sometimes to keep going.
Another bride of mine who I haven't married properly yet, Kate, she's just commented, and I could cry. She said such a lovely thing. Did you see? She said that I was empathic, which is very sweet.
Empathic and gorgeous and so articulate. Well, there we go.
You know,
that's what you want.
I miss my couples, you know. I miss that connection, because this is great. And can you imagine if we went through a pandemic 30 years ago and we just had nothing?
I say that the whole time. Exactly, I know. It would just be horrendous.
Even so, that energy, that palpable energy, like a Dyson vacuum, where you're kind of giving it and they're giving it up, and you're creating that.
The vortex of love.
Oh my, yes. Oh my God. We're really cracking it with the tagline.
We've got it going on here. So come on, let's go back to the process. They've got in touch with you. They've now arranged to have, presumably at the moment, a Zoom call with you. Get to know you.
Yes, a Zoom call.
Yeah.
And I think I said this on my grid like a couple of days ago, but you know, you get a lot of suppliers saying, oh, I'll give you 30 minutes for free kind of consultation. I can't even scratch the surface in 30 minutes. We're chatting for like a couple of hours, and we're talking about things like their first dog, and we're talking about, you know, what they did when they were 7 and they were Mary in the school play or whatever. And we just really vibe. And I do ask a little bit about what their wedding ceremony preferences are, just a little bit. But to be honest, I'm more interested in how they met.
If you want the backstory. That's the same as me. Know, I'm so nosy. I'm like, okay, we can talk about your wedding planning in a bit. Let me just find out everything about you.
This is it. We are in we have good gigs for nosy people. I tell you, any nosy people that are watching this, be a wedding supplier. You get 100%. To just bathe in people's love. It's so life affirming. But it's So
you do the Zoom,
spend a couple of hours.
You decide you're the right people for each other.
That's exactly right. So what I would usually do, I mean, a lot of the time, not to be too kind of nails emoji, people say, oh, we want you straight away. But if they have to go away and think about it, that's completely understandable, because it's an important decision. You know?
Exactly.
And so they go away, think about it, write to me and say, yes, we would love you to be our celebrant. And then essentially, usually this happens quite a long way before their wedding, you know, like a year and a half away. I do absolutely accept weddings with a shorter lead time if one's being fancy about the words. But it is better kind of the longer away that it can be, because it means that I can stalk you on Instagram for a year and really get to know you. But also it means that we have a really good, generous 6 months before the wedding day to start that process. And the process is really important, because the couples, I do say this to all my couples, you've got to be prepared to do some work. You can't just rock up on the wedding day and expect me to know all about you.
That's
so
true.
They have to really open their hearts to me. And
it's a bit of therapy.
This is it. You know, it's a little bit of marriage therapy for free.
Pre-wedding counselling.
Ceremony.
Because they get price tag on that one.
They get to remember exactly why they're doing this wedding. And you know, when you're in the middle of all the cake tastings and the napkin choosing and all of that, it is actually nice to put your feet on the ground every so often and think, do you know what? You're bloody gorgeous. Let's marry the heck out of each other. I'm trying to keep this PG. And you know, it is important to remember that.
It's just said he remembers his homework sheets.
That's right. And I do a mixture of going out, hopefully in person, with my couples, so that we can just chat and chew the fat. And I take notes discreetly or not discreetly, depending on what's relevant. But I try not to be too Rita Skeeter about it. You know, it's more about a kind of relationship in that way. And then I go home and
exactly.
And then also I do, like Luke says, I set written homework. And I think it's really important to do both, because couples can be extrovert, but also couples can be introvert. And a lot of couples are one of each. Because they complement each other. So usually if I'm meeting in person with a couple, one will do all the talking and the other one is very happy for that situation, because that's how they chill. But I want to know what that one who isn't talking also would say. And it's not that the couple is, you know, one is not being stifled, it's their sensible relationship. But if I ask for written stuff as well, then I get to hear both of them.
That's a very good point.
One of my homework sheets just says our story, and I ask them to just write a free form writing, a stream of consciousness, if you will. And I do put some little hints and tips on how to structure it if you want to, but there is no wrong way to do it. But the important thing is they do not show each other.
Yes.
They send it to me and do not show each other. And then I get 2 stories of how they met. I get 2 stories of a proposal if there was one. I get 2 stories about, I don't know, major holidays, major things that happen. But also I get the real beautiful phrases of what they feel about each other. And when they are beautiful, which they always are, and you know what, the introverted people usually give me the gold. I take it out like a jewel. Well, it is a jewel. And then I set it in the ceremony because I'm not going to phrase it any better myself.
No, you can't rehash that into something better than the emotion that it was written with.
Yeah, it would be
Have you
rude
had
of me
any
to
that are
mess
just
with it.
polar opposite stories where you've received them and you're like, do they even know each other?
No, I haven't. They always, it's so funny. You know, they often gel so well. And when I'm reading these large amounts, and I always say, you can't tell me too much. And it's true, I bathe in it. It's like some sort of Cleopatra thing, but words. And I just read it and then I let it lie fallow. And then I read it again. And then I start thinking, hang on, this word keeps popping out. This sentiment keeps and that gives me a theme. And that gives me an overarching, the important thing that is the fundament of their relationship. And that helps me to structure the ceremony. It helps me to suggest other things. So it's a lengthy process, you know, because you could just cobble together a ceremony. You could, if you wanted to, but it wouldn't be a good ceremony.
It wouldn't be yours. It wouldn't be your style.
No, not at all. It's an artistic process and it's an artistic collaboration. I don't think I'm being poncy saying that. That's how it feels.
I think it's absolutely right. It's you're a creator, you know, you're creating, so you are an artist. And so, okay, let's move on to then the legalities of it, because this is something that, you know, people will often talk to me about, and they'll say, okay, we could do a celebrant-led ceremony, but don't we have to do all the legal stuff as well? And what are your thoughts on that? Where do you stand with that?
My main thoughts on that is it's really annoying at the moment. Because as I am sure know, and maybe lots of people already know that are watching, humanist ceremonies are legally recognised in Scotland and have been legally recognised for almost 16 years. Amazing, so 2005. And they are super popular. They are more popular than any other wedding type in Scotland, apart from just a civil ceremony. And also in the last 2 years, Jersey has joined that, and also Northern Ireland, of course. Northern Ireland as well. So they are legally recognised there. And from March this year, Guernsey and Alderney and Sark, so the Channel Islands, will also as well join Jersey in being legally recognised. So what the hell, England and Wales? What is going on?
It's so bizarre, isn't it? So odd.
It's very frustrating. We took the government to court in the middle of 2020 because the government weren't busy in the middle of the pandemic, but we did it anyway.
Now's our time to shine. There's nothing in the news at the moment.
You know, honestly, they were just having naps apparently. But we took them to court to say that it was discriminatory. Because we are a belief-based system, and it is a denial of our belief-based human right. And the judge agreed. The judge said it was discrimination. However, she said that because there's an ongoing law commission to change the nature of marriage, which is going to be completed in September this year, that it will definitely be changed then. So there's no need for me to change it now. And we were like, there is a reason. There's a pandemic where you only get married outside and it's safer. Why can't you change it now? So
I can't believe they haven't moved that forward. It's bonkers.
Plus, law commission reports are recommendations to government. They are not.
They're not law.
Legally. Yeah, exactly. And a third of them get ignored. And she could have just said, government, you have to change this now.
Oh, that's so depressing.
We were just like, dude, I can't. Anyway, watch this space.
Yeah. Okay. So right now, pain in the ass. Soon, yay. That's what we're going for.
Slightly, although I will say that, I mean, always basing this on my own experience. We got married on a Friday.
Yeah.
Because I'm a freelancer and my husband's lovely. And and what we ended up doing, we got married in Oxford, as you know, Teddy Hall. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I can't remember if I said that. I know, right? In the old dining room. Beautiful.
Oh, wow.
And although you can have a civil ceremony in the old dining room, it costs like 800 quid to get the registrars down there.
Yeah.
And the celebrant cost the same in 2012.
Yeah.
So we were like, why would we pay someone to say something that means nothing and has no work involved in it, when we could just trot off to Oxford Register Office in the morning and we put our finery on, walked through and got loads of documentary gorgeous shots with our photographer, just us and our parents and our siblings, and my best friend. And then we did the civil ceremony, walked back through Oxford, got one of those sandwiches from those brilliant sandwich places where you can just get anything you want on them.
Morton's or something.
Yeah, it was Morton's.
Yeah, on the broad.
Yeah, we've got pictures of them. I'll DM you the pictures. They're really cool.
Cute. I love that.
It was actually brilliant because it was like a kind of a trial run somehow. Yeah. And so we actually built it into the ritual and the beauty of the day, because it's like we did that, had some lunch, then we put all the flowers on, and I put my heels on rather than my wedges.
Yeah.
And then all our guests arrived. And then we had what we perceived to be the real wedding, the emotion and the heart.
Yeah.
And actually, we kind of made a beautiful silk purse out of a sow's ear.
Yeah.
You know, we made lemonade.
Cute.
So you can do things like that.
You can be creative with how you do it. And, you know, I mean, for so many people, it's a great excuse to have two outfits, you know, or have 2 days, you know. And
it is. Yeah, because if you go, for example, white jumpsuit rather than big old lace gown or something for the register office, then you can change into it for the party afterwards.
Yeah, there's so many options. And it looks fabulous, you know, and I think there's, you know, there really is, you know, people shouldn't be put off and go, oh, I can't really be bothered with it, or just think it through. You're probably not going to be financially that different, and you're going to get something that really matters to you, right? But you're still legally going to be married, so you don't need to panic. You can do both, no problem. And most of the time you can fit them in on the same day, as long as we've got enough notice.
You can.
But if
or
not,
even
you do it on 2 days and you have 2 amazing weddings.
Yeah. If you do it like a week beforehand, you can do one of those lovely early morning ones, like a 9 a.m. Go for an amazing brunch.
Yeah.
Go for an unlimited booze brunch with like your best friends.
Yeah.
And also we did a thing
do it the week after your proper wedding, or a few weeks before, because your skin will break out if you go unlimited boozy lunch.
Very good point. Very good point. You see, you get all these points on Insta. You don't get this in bridal mags, do you?
No, you don't.
But, also, what we did as well, because you have to have your dad sign for registered offices, which again, honestly,
so backwards.
Celebrant-led ceremonies take the patriarchy out of your marriage. I'm just going to say that to you now, down the lens. You know, you don't have to be walking in with your dad. You don't have to be having conversations about giving people away. You don't, because you are writing it from the start.
You don't have to obey anyone.
You can rip up all the rule books, you know. No one's expecting anything. So they will get what you want to do. And if you want to have your dad walk you down the aisle, that's so brilliant too, but it's all about your choice.
Yeah, exactly.
And not about expectation. And, you know, the expectation thing is just...
and it's so much, you know, it's so important that you make your own traditions as a couple. I think, you know, one thing is that everyone's like, well, tradition says I should do this, and top table should look like that, and the ceremony we should have this. I'm like, My
Should
goodness,
is a
why on
boring
earth do you
word.
think that? You know, if we were doing
Yeah,
everything traditionally, we wouldn't be living anywhere near the way that we are now. You know, you need
yeah,
to build your own traditions and start them afresh. You need to say, right, this is what we do. We're a new couple. This is our world. This is the way we live it. And, you know, having somebody like you facilitate that at the entry point to this amazing wedding is just, you know, beautiful. It's so important.
it is. And you can really set the tone with that as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
You
You're
know,
setting the tone of the day.
this is it, you know. I mean, I would say that, oh God, I'm going to talk about my wedding again.
Do it.
Honestly, it's all me, me, me. But, you know,
It's every
a lot
consultation
of
like
people,
that.
possibly a common misconception about celebrant-led ceremonies is they're all a bit hippy-dippy. You
Yeah,
know, it's all a bit barefoot and flower
yeah,
crowns, which it can be, and that's
yeah,
gorgeous.
yeah,
But it really can be what you want it to be.
yeah,
Ours was relatively not formal,
yeah,
but you know, it had a kind of a formality to
yeah.
it because that's what we wanted. It was the old dining
And
hall.
where
It's
the
quite a
you know
formal
where the
space.
architecture of where you were, you would have to
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
level of formality to it. You weren't in the middle of a woodland, so you're not going to go
yeah.
kind of hippie, kind of
Yeah,
crazy, are
and
you?
we're both kind of, you know, we're not kind of those kind of people, and it really
Yeah,
matched our personalities.
yeah.
And it was very intimate. There were only 36 of us.
Oh wow.
It was, yeah, it was really kind of the nice kind of intense, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean. I could see every eye and
yeah,
every tear, and that's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
And my best composer friend wrote pieces for my best two soprano
Oh,
friends, and
wow.
I heard it for the first time in our wedding. And
Oh.
honestly, I'm so surprised I'm not Alice Cooper on the day because I was just like, oh,
Streaming.
just beautiful. But it was very much a kind of, I don't know, if I was describing it now to other people being in the
Yeah,
wedding industry, I would say it was a city chic
yeah,
wedding. I would say it was very kind of vintage vibes.
yeah,
It was very uh,
yeah,
following the beat of its own drum. We didn't
yeah,
have a best man, we didn't have bridesmaids, we didn't
yeah.
have a wedding cake, we didn't have a first
You
dance.
broke those traditions to make it into
Yeah,
your day. Yeah,
and a lot of that was down to having a celebrant ceremony because you
yeah,
realize that you're remaking what is important to you,
yeah,
what priorities matter to you.
exactly.
You know,
As
we
part of
spent
that
like
pre-marriage
100 quid on
counselling.
flowers. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So it kind of, it's weird, but actually, I'm going to just sell this now. Choosing a celebrant ceremony allows you to actually relax about every other aspect of
Yeah,
your day too, because it
yeah,
just changes your mindset
true.
on what marriage is and what a wedding is. And then you can be
Yeah,
like, do you know what? It'll be beautiful regardless of stock, lack of
yeah,
stock in the flower industry.
yeah,
Choose, I trust you, florist, you
yeah.
choose, you
And
know?
also, I think, you know, when you're saying that, it's also the only element that you actually know how it's going to play out. Because if you're getting a registrar, you don't know which one you're going to get. It's just
Oh,
whoever turns up
yes,
on a day and you may detest them. And I mean, there's nothing worse than that. Somebody that you can't stand marrying you. Or if
yeah,
you're going down the church route, you don't know what be that vicar's going to have in his bonnet that day and
yeah,
want to
yeah.
talk about. And
In the
sometimes, you know, I've been
ceremony,
at church
yeah.
weddings. I'm like, why are we talking about this? Like, you know,
Oh,
whereas with a
me too,
celebrant, you've
dude.
got a lot more control over being able to say, right, I really want you to focus in on this, but I don't want you to touch on anything like that. And I don't want
Yeah,
any bad dad jokes, or I do want
yeah,
loads of dad jokes, you know, like
yeah.
you're able to, you know, have a bit more control over the ceremony where in every other aspect you've lost it, really.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's kind of coming back to our very first point in the
Yeah,
conversation. You know, you spend so much time possibly micromanaging every other aspect of your choice in
yeah,
the wedding, but then
yeah,
you leave the most important bit to chance.
yeah. It
And
is
it's like,
chance. You're right. Yeah,
you know, are you going to get my name right in that
yeah.
civil ceremony? Because I have
The
heard a
amount
lot
of
of
times they
stories.
stumble over names.
Yeah. Whereas I not only get the names right, I also get the name of your mother's cousin right. I know what your dog's name is. I know what your best friend at school's name is.
Yeah,
You know, I know you. I know
yeah.
all about you because
You're
it's
part of
my
the
job.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my job. Do you know, that was such a nice thing. About a week ago, I've been asked to do my first example of marrying two sisters.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
marrying one in 2021 and I'm
Yeah.
marrying the other one in 2022 because
Oh,
they got
wow.
engaged at different times.
Yeah.
And because of the pandemic, one had to be postponed and would have been in 2020. So I'm just like, oh, I love it.
That is so
I love it.
special.
I'm really going to be a friend of the family by
Yeah.
the time I've done 2 weddings in
Yeah.
them. So
They're going to have to
yeah,
lay another seat at Christmas dinner for you.
I love it. Do you know, I'll always take a Christmas dinner.
Good. Well, you should.
I
It's a
will.
delicious meal.
It is. It is.
Right, I'm
Lots
going
of
to wrap it
things in
up
them.
shortly,
Yeah.
but just before you go, because I mean, I think you and I could carry on talking all day, but when this is all over, you and I are going to meet up, and maybe we could do another bit of a live, going through some other stuff at that point when we meet up. But
Yeah, in the same room.
yeah,
Can you imagine?
maybe we could even like touch, and I can smell your
It
perfume.
sounds
How
like,
exciting
oh
is
my
that?
God. Oh, by the way, my perfume is called Dirty Velvet.
Oh,
I'll just leave
wow.
that with you.
That is amazing. Before you go, though, give me your 3 pieces of advice you would give anyone who's considering a celebrant-led ceremony.
Oh, okay. So we've kind of covered some of the things before, but it's
Yeah,
still worth talking about at the end.
summarize it. Yeah,
One, decide what kind of celebrant you want.
yeah.
Humanist, independent, spiritual, relaxed, chilled, gorgeous. Then number 2, do your research on the kind of celebrant that you want. Do you want one that's very informal? Do you want a kind of festival person? Do you want someone that's a bit more cerebral? What's your gig? How are they going to match you? And stalk them on Instagram.
Yeah.
Check out their website. Look
What's
at their
their
training.
tone?
Look at
What's their
their vibe.
style? Yeah,
Yeah,
what's their vibe?
take time over it. It's really important.
Yeah.
And all celebrants will be so happy to hear from you.
Yeah.
You can never, ever stop a celebrant talking about the glory of weddings. So come and ask us questions. I'm obnoxiously contactable. I'm always on the Insta, even when I'm meant to be homeschooling. But come and ask me anything. Come and ask me anything, and I will always recommend other people if I'm not right for you, because it's all about authenticity. It's all about being the right match. Yeah, it's like Tinder but better.
Yeah. Less
and then and then the third thing, I have said it, but I think it really bears repeating.
Yeah.
You've got to put the work in.
Yeah.
As a couple, you've got to sit down as a couple and say, we're going to spend a really good amount of time pouring our heart out to this gorgeous person that we've decided is a good fun person for us to be with, and that we really gel with them. Because the more work they put into it, the more work you put into it, the better the ceremony will be. It will be so you and so gorgeous, and it's so worth it. And the process, having been through it myself, it's just wonderful. It's just as good as the actual day.
It recenters you as to why you're doing it, which is so important.
Yeah, it does.
Brilliant.
And so that's my 3.
I love it. Well done. Thank you so much. And if anybody wants to get in touch with you directly, what's the best way to well, I mean, you're very contactable. Website or Instagram preference?
Instagram's great, Nat Raybould Weds. I'm sure the link is there.
Yeah.
And also I'm natrayboldweds@gmail.com if you want to be a bit more email. I accept smoke signals, TikTok dances, everything.
Carrier pigeons, everything.
I'm very happy for all sorts. Anything apparently apart from a hug at the moment.
Don't say that. That's too sad. Get you crying again. Right.
No, I won't cry.
Thank you so much. You've been so generous with your time, and we love everything that you've been saying. You've had so much passion and energy and positivity, and my goodness, I needed to hear this. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And
thank you so much for inviting me. I've had a whale of a time.
You're a superstar. And if anyone isn't following you already on Instagram, do, because it'll perk up your day every single day when your post arrives on your feed. I love it.
Thank you. You're so lovely. Thank you.
Good.
Thanks so much.
Have a lovely evening, and
you too.
I will see you soon, I hope.
Yes, in person.
Yes.
In Oxford.
In Oxford, we'll do it. The
Very
Queen's Calf.
Oh my God, yes. Extra bacon.
Take care. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.